Today I'm going to be taking you through solving simple linear equations. When you have an equation, you always have an equal sign between the two sides, the left-hand side and the right-hand side. And both sides are equal. So let's take a very simple real-life example. You go to a shop and you buy 2 bags of crisps. And each of those crisps costs, let's say for example, 50 pence. So you pay a total of £1 to the shopkeeper and you can take your crisps. Let's say that you say to the shopkeeper, actually, I want to double the amount of crisps that I've purchased. So I'm going to multiply everything by 2, so I now have 4 bags of crisps. Well, because you multiply by 2 on the left, you need to multiply by 2 on the right. Why? Because it's an equation and both sides have to be equal. So now we're left with 4 bags of crisps and we've paid the shopkeeper £2. Let's say that you decide to put 1 bag of crisps back. So you're going to remove 1 bag of crisps. So you remove 1 lot of the money for the crisps, which is 50 pence. So you take away 50 pence on the right hand side. So you're now left with 3 bags of crisps and you have paid the shopkeeper £1.50 and the equation now balances. In this equation we can see y plus 7 is equal to 2. So as we know, the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. So whatever you do to the left, you must do to the right. Now we have y on the left, it's positive, so we want to keep that there. That means we need to remove the 7. Currently 7 is being added to y. And to remove something, you always do the opposite of the sign. So let's take away 7 here. And if we do that, we must take away 7 on the other side. And we're now left with y, and then 7 minus 7 is 0 on the left, and 2 minus 7 is minus 5. And there we have y equals minus 5, and we've solved the equation. Let's take a look at this equation. 2g plus 6 is equal to 4. We know both sides of the equation are equal, so I'm going to highlight those with a purpley type of color there, just to show you that both sides are actually equal. And we have 2g plus 6. Now we're going to leave the 2g well alone and work on that right at the end. Let's get rid of everything else on the left hand side. Because we're adding 6 currently, I'm going to take away 6 there, because 6 minus 6 is 0, so I've now removed the 6. I must take away 6 on the right hand side as well, because it's an equation. I'm now left with 2g is equal to 4 minus 6 is minus 2. Now once again, both sides of the equation are equal. Now at the moment 2 is being multiplied by g. That's why we have 2g. When there's no sign in algebra between letters or numbers and letters, it means it's a multiplication. So we have 2 times g. The opposite of a multiplication is a division. So we're going to divide by 2. If we divide by 2 on the left, we must divide by 2 on the right. And looking at that on the left now, we can see that the 2's will cancel, leaving us with g on the left. On the right hand side, 2's into 2 go 1, 2's into 2 go 1, 1 over 1 is just a 1, but we've got the negative sign there. It says minus 1 over 1, which is minus 1. And there's your solution there. In this case, we can see 3w minus 4 is equal to 7. So we're going to remove the minus 4 first. So to do that, we're going to add 4. We add it on the left, we add it on the right. I'm now left with 3w, because 4 minus 4 on the left is 0, and 7 plus 4 is 11. And now I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides. And the reason for that is I want to cancel out my 3's there. And when I do that, I'm left with w is equal to 11 over 3. And in algebra, we tend to favour improper fractions. We tend not to writing them as mixed numbers or certainly as decimals. It can be very confusing. With improper fractions, they're very easy to work with if you have some further steps that you have to do in solving a particular problem. Unless the question specifically states that you need to give your answer as a mixed number or a decimal, always try and keep the answer as an improper fraction. Here we have 5 plus 3r is equal to 9. Have a go at this one and see what you get for the value of r. Okay, let's take a look and see how you've done. So on the left we have 5 plus 3r is equal to 9. Now my 5 is added to 3r, and I want to remove my 5 first, because remember, you want to try and remove everything that is not associated with your variable or with your letter. The 3 is next to the letter, so I'm going to leave that well alone and remove the 5. So 5 take away 5 gives me 0. I must do the same thing on the right hand side. 5 minus 5 is 0. I'm left with 3r. 9 minus 5 is 4. And now I want to get rid of the 3, because 3 is being multiplied by r. I need to do the opposite of the sign, which is a divide on both sides. Those two cancel there, and I'm now left with r is equal to 4 over 3. This one is a little bit trickier. So we have 7 is equal to 4 minus 2b. Now my b is next to the 2, so it's 2 times b, but it's a negative. So if I solve this by leaving b on the right hand side, I'm going to have a minus b. And I can work around that, but it's a little bit more complicated. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move my minus 2b to the left hand side before I start the question. How do I do that? Well, I want to get rid of minus 2b on the right hand side. So to get rid of that, I'm going to add 2b, because 2b minus 2b is 0. If I do that on the right, I must do it on the left. So now I'm left with 2b plus 7 is equal to 4. And now my b is a positive number, so I'm happy with that now. Now I'm going to get rid of the 7, so I take away 7 on both sides, and that leaves me with 2b is equal to minus 3. And now I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides, so I can remove the 2's there, and that gives me b is equal to minus 3 over 2. In this example, we have 2 is equal to 3x. Now 3x is on the right hand side, but it's positive, so I'm going to keep it there. Because remember, x equals 1 is the same as 1 equals x. It doesn't matter which side the x is on. So I have 3 times x on the right hand side. I need to remove the 3. So I divide by 3 on both sides. The 3's just cancel, and I'm left with x is equal to 2/3. If I want to, I can always write it as x is equal to 2/3. It's exactly the same thing. This one is a little trickier. Have a go first. 2a is equal to 3/4. Work out what a is. Just give it a go. Pause the video and come back in a couple of minutes and we'll see how you've done. Okay, let's look at how to solve this one. So we need to divide by 2 on both sides to get rid of the 2 on the left. So if I divide by 2 here, you can see that I need to divide by 2 here. Now I'm going to do this the long way around first, and then I'm going to show you how to do it slightly in an easier manner. So we can delete the 2's there, and we know we've got an a, or rather we cancel the 2's. On the right hand side now, we have 3/4 over 2, which means 3/4 divided by 2. And to do a division of a fraction, you keep the first number the same, change the sign to its opposite, and flip the second number upside down. Now at the moment 2 is a whole number, so it's over 1. So that'll be 1 over 2, which gives me 3 over 8, or rather 4 times 2. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to move this to one side, and we're going to look over here. So I divided by 2 over there. So all I need to do really is multiply my denominator by 2. It's still below the division sign there. Okay, so that gives me a is equal to 3 over 8, which gives me exactly the same answer as here. Take a look at this one. 5 over 4h is equal to minus 3. So the first thing I notice is that h is next to 5 quarters. When you have a fraction next to your variable or your letter, you always remove the denominator first. To remove the denominator, so I'm dividing by 4, I would do the opposite, so I'm multiplying by 4. And I multiply by 4 on the right hand side. So my 4's cancel there, and I'm now left with 5h is equal to minus 12, because minus 3 times 4, negative number multiplied by positive number gives you a negative number, and 3 times 4 is 12. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by 5 on both sides. Those 5's cancel quite nicely there, and I'm left with h is equal to minus 12 over 5. In this example, I have 2 is equal to 3/7 f. So first thing I'm going to do is multiply by 7 on both sides. Why? Because I want to get rid of that 7 there. That leaves me with 14 on the left hand side and 3f on the right hand side. I'm now going to divide by 3 on both sides, and that cancels there, and that leaves me with f is equal to 14 over 3. Here we have a slightly more challenging one. 2/3 x plus 5 is equal to 1. Have a go first, spend a minute or so trying it out, and come back once you've done, and I'll take you through the solution. Okay, so let's take a look at this. We have 2/3 x plus 5 is equal to 1. So what I want to do is I want to leave that well alone. And I want to remove everything else first. So to remove everything else, I need to take away 5 there, take away 5 there. That leaves me now with 2/3 x, 5 plus 5 is 0, and that's equal to 1 minus 5 is minus 4. Now I want to remove my denominator. So I multiply by 3 there, and multiply by 3 there. Those 3's cancel, and that gives me 2x is equal to minus 12. And now I divide by 2 on both sides. My 2's cancel there, leaving me with x. And on the right hand side, I get minus 6. Let's try one more. So we have 6 minus 3/4 p is equal to 8. Now my challenge here is that the p term is negative because it's minus 3/4 p. So the first thing I want to do is move my 3/4 p to the right hand side, which means I need to eliminate it from the left hand side. And to do that, you do the opposite of the sign. So we're going to add 3/4 p. And we're going to add 3/4 p there. That leaves me with 6 is equal to 8 plus 3 over 4 p. Now I'm going to remove the number term on the right hand side, which is the 8. So I remove the 8 by taking away. Take away on the left. I'm left with 6 minus 8 on the left, which is minus 2. 8 minus 8 is 0, and that's 3/4 p. I now need to remove my denominator. So I'm going to multiply by 4 there, and multiply the left side by 4 as well. 4 times minus 2 is minus 8. Those 4's just cancel. I'm left with 3p. And now I simply divide both sides by 3 to leave me with p is equal to minus 8 over 3. I hope you found that video useful. There are other videos on our YouTube channel. To be notified of other videos, please do subscribe to the channel. If you like this video, do give us a like and leave a comment in the comments section if there are other types of videos that you'd like to see. See you in the next video.